Hey, I'm Annie, and I just did the unthinkable. I quit my job as a firefighter paramedic, sold everything I own, and bought a house on wheels. Join me as we travel the world on adventures with Annie into the unknown. I was like, alright, spend one more night at this campground, and we're gonna head out in the morning. That was the plan. We made it 3 exits. 3 exits. And check engine light comes on. I'm like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. Seriously. So I call Brian. I say, check engine light's back on. He's like, why don't you try to get to the next auto shop at the next exit and then get the code scanned and then call me back. So we pull off at the next exit, which is Gatlin. And we are in the far right lane, thank God, at least. Boom. Literally boom. The entire thing shuts down. Check engine light comes on, oil light comes on, battery light comes on. That's how I know that the thing has stalled out. And now it's not restarting at all. I think my heart sunk in that moment. I called Brian back. He's like, do you want me to send my tow truck driver? And I'm like, I guess so. I'm like panicking. I'm like, we are blocking traffic. So yes, please call your tow truck driver. We have yet to call AAA or Good Sam at this point in the journey. We had finally called Geico and got the insurance covered on it. And we're on our way to get the registration settled up. But we had not called roadside assistance yet. Lesson number 1. So Brian sends his tow truck driver. Thank God they brought 2. They brought the tow truck and then he brought a friend with an SUV. So the friend with the SUV was able to take the trailer and us back to the campground that we just left. I was like, might as well go back there. It's a beautiful campground and it's right next to Brian's shop. And then the other tow truck driver took Black Beauty back to Brian. So we call the next morning to get the fantastic news that Black Beauty has indeed blown a fucking head gasket. Yep, blown head gasket.
It's like candle wax right there coming down, so they just got so hot that they melted. And you can see where they're at there in the middle of the engine, so this is the time to change them. So I got them back there. Yeah, well what happens is when these gaskets blow, the coolant goes inside the cylinders and it just evaporates through the tail system.
Oh, that's right.
Well, you can blow a head gasket 3 different ways. One, the water can go into the oil, which gives you a chocolate milk in the oil pan. Second, it goes through the cylinders, which goes out the tailpipes, out the ass end of the car. And then third is it will pressurize the cooling system, and that brand new radiator we put in there, it could have blew the radiator apart. So there's 3 different ways you can blow a head gasket.
For most people, that's probably the death of their vehicle. They're like, it's done, it's toast. You can sink a lot of money into it and rebuild it, but a lot of people don't. We don't have a lot of money to work with. So for us, it's cheaper, we thought, to rebuild it. We'd already put $2,000 into it to get it road ready. I had no idea it was going to cost that much, but it had some serious things wrong with it. This was something I bought off a used car lot last year when I was desperate and needed a car. And it had some beautiful selling points for me. I mean, just look at those sexy wheels. I did take it to a couple mechanics and it seemed sound at the time, but I am finding that it had quite a bit on its way out the door that I didn't know about. $3,000. We gotta come up with $3,000 now to rebuild the engine. But that's still gonna be better than a car for $3,000. I mean, you're gonna get a junker at that point. If we talk it over, if we sell it as is with a check engine light that doesn't even start, with a blown head gasket, we're lucky if we get $500. I mean, even if a mechanic bought it off of us. because they know the work that has to go into it. To take the whole engine apart. I mean, it's a grueling process and time consuming. Any car with that many miles, it already had over 220,000 miles on it, and that old, a lot of mechanics won't touch it. But I've been working with Brian for over 10 years, and he was like, we can do it. We decided to do it with the intention of selling Black Beauty as soon as we get her back. That was the plan. We didn't follow the plan. We never followed the plan. But we had a wonderful week at Phipps Park in Stuart. And then it's nuts. We met some awesome people. One of the coolest people we ever met so far in our journey was at Phipps Park. He was like the unofficial camp host, and his name is Terry, and I call him Deadhead Terry because he's a huge Grateful Dead fan. Total hippie from the 70s. You know, far out man, tubular, like that's totally Terry. We invited him over for dinner one night. He was phenomenal. This guy, I went out and got a rental car for us for the week so we could get around and get some groceries and whatnot. And while I was gone, we got a rental car and the TPMS light was on and it wasn't holding air in the front right tire. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I had to go swap out the rental cars. Anyway, I finally get it swapped out. But in the time I was gone, Deadhead Terry offered to tow them from one campsite to another. So he's like struggling apparently to like back the car up to the hitch to get it lined up. And he's like tries over and over and over. And when he's like, do you want me to help you out? And he's just like, no, I got it. And he's like, tries again. And he finally backs it up and he like gets it right to there. And then he comes out and he's like, Wendy, he's like, I'm so sorry, man. I just got some new sativa and oh man, I'm just blitzed. I shit you not. So this guy's like totally ripped, trying to like hook up a trailer. I mean, it's hard enough being stone sober, let alone ripped. I mean, I can't imagine. Hey guys, what's up? So we have reached a whole new level in our life because we are excited about a turd toter. A turd toter. What is a turd toter? I'm glad you asked. So, this is a turd toter is just a RV known name for one of these portable holding tanks. Here it is outside of the box. And so why would you need one of these if you're at an RV site hooking up at a full hookup, they call it? Well, we've learned that full hookup doesn't necessarily mean full hookup. That means you get electric and water, but you could have a centralized dumping station. So if you're here for an extended period of time and you have a small tank like we do, then you're gonna have to empty it out. We've figured out the gray water for us is like every other day, but the black water can last us like 4 to 5 days, maybe 6 if we push it. So, and that's with 4 of us in here. So anyway, we're about to try this out for the first time. We do not have a tow vehicle yet, so we do not have a way to tow it over to the dumping station. So, all right, that's it. See you on the other side. All right, so we got it all hooked up. It was easy to use, and our awesome camp host here on site saw us doing it, and he offered his car. So I will let you see what it looks like in the back.
His 4Runner. It's the excitement of the morning. Buckets of shit in the bucket, 99 buckets of shit. Take one down, pass it around, 98 buckets of shit in the bin.
Alright, so we just used this, it works great, but we were wondering where the hell we're going to store it, because the only storage compartment on our RV is under our bed, and it's pretty full already. So what we did was we came over here to the bracket that holds the tire onto the bumper, and we rotated it. So the tire was facing out and now it's facing up. Hopefully this is gonna work well. We'll lay it across there and bungee it down. Maybe it won't work. Maybe it'll fucking catch wind and fly off. I don't know. But it certainly seems like a better option than under a bed. We'll see. Let you know how it works later. So we end up staying at Phipps Campground in Stuart, Florida for a total of 20 nights. It felt like an eternity. But it was a beautiful campground. I would go back there in a heartbeat. We are at Starbucks in Stuart, Florida. My mechanic, Brian, is going to pull up any moment with Black Beauty. Black Beauty is resurrected. Black Beauty has half of a new heart.
Black Beauty's the 4Runner that blew the head gasket last week or the week before.
Duh, where have you been? Oh.
False alert. False alert. That's a Land
false
Rover.
alert. Land Rover.
Exciting, huh?
This is a big moment.
Drum roll.
This is a very big moment.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord, won't you?
Oh, here it is. She's alive! So we just pulled off from the campground. So far so good. Temperature's staying at medium. Gas tank's getting a little low. We'll have to refill it before we leave. But we noticed something pretty important.
Well, when we got the weight distribution hitch put on the trailer, this is only the second time that we've actually hooked it up because the engine blew 20 miles after we got it installed. So we're hooking it up today, and we realized that the emergency brake line, like the cord that is supposed to pull out if the trailer were to get disconnected, is actually secured underneath the bracket for the sway bar, so you can't move that brake thing. So if it were to pull off, I think it's more likely that the cord would break than that it would actually activate the emergency braking system. So we're on our way back to the fucking place that we had. This is like take 2. We're making the same loop. We left the campground last time, 2.5 weeks ago, to go to this place to get the weight distribution hitch put on. So we sure as fuck hope this has a better ending than the last one. But so we're on our way to the RV place, and she called and said have us bring it by, and so hopefully they can just look at it, and it'll be like you just have to undo the nut and pull it out, it looks like. But like we didn't have the right tools to undo it, and then I don't know if it's torqued, and if it is at an odd angle. It's not perfectly horizontal, so we didn't want to fuck with it. So what else? So we're hoping that we make it farther than we did last time we did this circuit.
We'll definitely touch base when we like get on 95 and like we are leaving fucking Stewart, Florida.
And then we're gonna go.
That'll be monumental. Like just getting out of Stewart. Like we can make it 2 exits past Gatlin. We're good.
We gotta get past Gatlin.
The solution is wire cutters and a new brake line. Seems the easier method.
This is Gatlin. Right over there is where we broke down. There's us, not there.
See you later. Bye, Port St. Lucie.
After being stranded in South Florida for 23 nights, will tonight be the night they finally make it out? Find out on the next episode of Into the Unknown.